She didn't change her diet. She didn't stop exercising. But at 72, Eleanor suddenly felt off. Her energy dipped, her memory wobbled, and one morning, staring at her usual healthy drink, she whispered, "Could it be this?" What followed shocked her, and might shock you too. In this story, we'll uncover 5 hidden dangers in a beverage many women over 65 still trust. Let's start with the first clue Eleanor missed: the silent sugar spiral. 1. The sugar trap that masqueraded as health. Eleanor never used to nap, but lately every afternoon felt like a fog had rolled in. She'd finish her usual morning smoothie, a vibrant blend of fruit, almond milk, and a splash of immune booster mix, and by 10 she was yawning. By noon her focus was gone. At first she brushed it off. Just one of those slow days, she told herself. But when those days became every day, she started wondering. It wasn't her walking routine. It wasn't the weather. Then her neighbor, Linda, casually mentioned how sugar was affecting her memory and energy, and Eleanor's stomach sank, because suddenly, all those natural ingredients she trusted didn't feel so innocent. Even though it didn't taste particularly sweet, her smoothie was loaded with fruit concentrate, apple, pineapple, even dates. And here's the sneaky part. These are often labeled as healthy or wholesome, but to your body, sugar is sugar. Especially after 65, when blood sugar sensitivity can rise even if you've never had a history with diabetes. See, our metabolism naturally slows with age, and our insulin response gets a little sleepy. So when a senior woman like Eleanor starts her day with a high-sugar drink, yes, even if it's natural, she's in for a roller coaster. First the sugar spike. Energy, focus, clarity, then the crash, brain fog, fatigue, even irritability. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many women over 65 are unknowingly riding the sugar coaster, thinking they're doing something good for themselves. Start by reading the fine print. If you see anything like fruit concentrate, juice blend, agave, honey, or even pure cane, pause. These all add up. Instead, build your morning drink around whole ingredients. Think fiber-rich berries, a spoonful of flaxseed, and some unsweetened Greek yogurt. You'll still get flavor, but without the crash. It's frustrating when you do everything right and still feel wrong. When the very habits you trust feel like they've betrayed you. That emotional tug-of-war between what you believed and what your body is telling you can feel isolating. But this shift doesn't mean you failed. It means you're wiser now, more in tune, and that's something to celebrate. 2. The green that wasn't set so clean. One Wednesday, Eleanor and her daughter were grocery shopping when she proudly picked up her go-to spinach kale juice blend. "I drink this every day," she said. Her daughter frowned and asked, "Do you know this has 8 grams of oxalates per serving?" Eleanor blinked. Oxa what? Turns out, Eleanor's clean green habit had quietly been stressing her kidneys. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds found in foods like spinach, beets, and almonds. In small amounts, no problem. But in concentrated juices, they pile up fast. And if your kidneys are working a little slower, which for many women post-65, their oxalates can bind with calcium and form painful kidney stones. Or worse, they can silently contribute to long-term kidney stress. Here's what really got Eleanor. She wasn't overdoing it on purpose. She just thought more green equals sign more good. It was heartbreaking to think that her well-meaning choices might have caused harm. Try rotating your greens. Use low oxalate options like romaine, arugula, or bok choy instead of spinach every single day. Add lemon juice. It helps neutralize oxalates. And don't forget water. If you're drinking concentrated greens, make sure you're hydrating well enough to help your kidneys flush it all out. No one likes to feel duped, especially when they've tried so hard to do the right thing. When your health choices backfire, it's easy to feel embarrassed or even guilty. But this isn't about blame, it's about adjusting with grace. Your intentions were good, now your habits can be too. 3. The hidden additives that stir up trouble. Maybe I just can't digest like I used to. Eleanor sighed one evening, pressing her palm gently against her bloated stomach. She hadn't had anything unusual, just her daily drink and a light salad. She started looking closer. On the label of her clean smoothie mix were words like xanthan gum, gar gum, natural flavors, and citric acid. Why would something healthy need all this? She wondered. The answer: shelf life, texture, uniform color, that creamy consistency you love. Sometimes it comes from ingredients your gut doesn't. As we age, our digestive systems become more sensitive. The friendly bacteria in our guts change. Our enzyme production slows, and things like gums, emulsifiers, and even certain preservatives can cause bloating, gas, and sluggish digestion, especially when consumed daily. Eleanor decided to run a little test. She made her smoothie at home using a basic blender, plain ingredients, and no weird add-ons. Within 2 days, her bloating was noticeably better. It was like a light switch, she said. Avoid long ingredient lists. If you can't pronounce it, or wouldn't cook with it, maybe it shouldn't be in your drink. Use real foods. A banana for creaminess, a handful of frozen blueberries for sweetness, a spoon of chia for fiber. No mystery, just nourishment. Our gut isn't just about digestion, it's about how we feel. Bloating, discomfort, and irregularity can leave you feeling sluggish, irritable, and even anxious. Cleaning up your drink doesn't just help your stomach, it helps your spirit. It's about reclaiming comfort, calm, and confidence in your own skin. So now Eleanor had unmasked 3 quiet culprits: the sugar surge, the green overload, and the sneaky additives. And the best part, she hadn't given up her morning drink, she just transformed it into something that actually supported her energy, her sleep, and her gut. Have you ever trusted a healthy drink, only to later realize it wasn't helping like you thought? I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. 4. The secret saboteur of sleep. It was nearly midnight, and Eleanor was wide awake again. She stared at the ceiling fan tracing lazy circles above her, wishing her mind would quiet down. It wasn't racing with worry, just on, too alert, too wired. Like her body forgot how to shut off. Her doctor had once gently mentioned that sleep can get lighter with age. Normal, she'd thought, but the restlessness didn't feel normal. It felt new, unexpected, and somehow tied to her morning drink. She pulled the bottle from her fridge the next morning. It claimed to support clean energy, with ingredients like green tea extract, guarana, matcha, and natural stimulants. Bingo! Here's the twist. Many health drinks aimed at older adults quietly include stimulating compounds. They don't always say caffeine. Instead, they hide behind terms like clean energy, plant-powered, or mental clarity blend. The idea sounds lovely, especially if you're feeling a bit sluggish. But if you're over 65, these hidden additives can linger in your system far longer than they used to, throwing off your body clock. You cherish your sleep, not just for rest, but for everything it brings. Sleep is where the body heals, the mind resets, and calm settles in. When sleep is taken from you, even subtly, it doesn't just make you tired, it robs your peace. It dulls your sparkle the next day. It chips away at your joy. Eleanor had been sipping her drink after breakfast, and sometimes even in the early afternoon, not realizing she was setting herself up for a restless night. When she removed it from her routine, her nights slowly began to smooth out. I started dreaming again, she whispered one morning, smiling. Start by scanning the bottle or ingredients list for anything that sounds like natural energy, clean focus, clarity blend, or even green tea extract. Don't be fooled by clever wording. Natural doesn't always mean harmless, especially when sleep is at stake. And if you do enjoy drinks with light caffeine, make it a morning-only treat, never afternoon. Your future self at 2 a.m. will thank you. 5. The Medication Muddler. It happened in the most unexpected way. Eleanor's thyroid medication, something she had taken like clockwork for over a decade, suddenly wasn't working the way it used to. Her levels were off. Her doctor was puzzled. "Are you taking it on an empty stomach?" he asked. She nodded. "With anything else?" She paused. "Well, I drink my smoothie right after." There it was. Many medications, especially common ones for blood pressure, thyroid issues, or osteoporosis, can be disrupted by certain nutrients in food or drink. Calcium, for example, can block absorption. Iron can interfere. High fiber or high fat smoothies can delay how quickly medicine is processed. What Eleanor didn't realize was that her well-intentioned health shake was full of things that were bumping into her pills, like a traffic jam at rush hour. It's scary. It's frustrating. To do everything right, to take your medicine, eat well, follow instructions, and still not feel better. It can shake your confidence. It can make you question your intuition. But knowledge is power, and with just a few changes, Eleanor reclaimed control. If you take medication in the morning, keep at least a 1-hour window before consuming any kind of smoothie, supplement, or beverage other than water, especially if your drink includes dairy, iron-rich veggies, calcium powders, or protein blends. Even better, write down your morning routine for 1 week and take it with you to your next checkup. Your doctor or pharmacist can help you spot any timing issues. 6. Be healthy. That hit too much. This one's a little less scientific and a little more emotional. Eleanor once said, "That smoothie made me feel like I was doing something good for myself, like I was still in control." And that's the part that stings, isn't it? Because when we put our trust in something, especially something that promises vitality, youth, energy, and it lets us down, it doesn't just affect our body, it dents our confidence. It makes us second guess. It shakes our sense of independence. Eleanor wasn't just giving up a drink, she was grieving a belief. But here's the truth she discovered. Letting go doesn't mean losing control. It means taking it back. So instead of ditching the ritual, she reinvented it. Now her mornings start with warm water and lemon, a bit of stretching, and if she wants, a homemade shake with just a few simple ingredients. She's not chasing energy anymore. She's creating it. She still keeps that old smoothie bottle in the back of her fridge. Not to drink, but to remind her how far she's come. You've spent decades learning what works for your body, and that wisdom, it deserves to lead, not be silenced by clever marketing. Rewriting your habits isn't a loss, it's a quiet revolution. It's choosing to walk forward with clarity, with confidence, and with care. Eleanor's story reminds us that sometimes, the smallest habits need the biggest honesty, that not everything labeled healthy is healthy for you, and that even a drink, just a drink, can be the start of a powerful change. Have you ever discovered that something you trusted was holding you back? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. 7. When the routine becomes the rut, let's talk comfort. There's something deeply soothing about routine. You wake up, stretch, open the blinds to let in the light, and make your favorite drink. Maybe it's been your morning ritual for years. Eleanor's was. She called it her anchor. It made her feel ready, set, prepared to face the day. But here's the quiet truth. Sometimes, comfort can cloud our curiosity. After her sleep began improving, Eleanor felt encouraged, yet she still held tight to her drink. She adjusted it, sure, cut the caffeine, changed the timing, but she didn't let it go. Why? Because it felt like hers. It was the only healthy thing she never questioned. Then one afternoon, her friend Nora visited. They swapped stories, and Eleanor mentioned how she was adjusting her drink. Nora laughed gently. "You've changed everything except the habit itself." That hit hard. Eleanor realized she had been clinging not to the drink, but to the idea of the drink. The identity it gave her, disciplined, wellness-focused, independent. And that's when she tried something bold, skipping the drink for a week, just to see, not replacing it with anything fancy. Just warm water, a piece of fruit, a small protein breakfast. The result? Clearer mornings, no bloating, no jittery dips in energy, and surprisingly, no emotional crash. Letting go of a ritual doesn't mean letting go of yourself. For women over 65, many routines are more than just habits. They're symbols of autonomy. Shifting them can feel vulnerable. But here's the empowering part. You're allowed to change. Even if the old way worked once, Your body now deserves a new kind of attention. 8. The gut knows before the mind does. Eleanor once joked, "I think my stomach knows more than my brain lately." She wasn't far off. A few weeks into her new routine, she noticed something remarkable. Her digestion was smoother, sure, but beyond that she felt lighter, not just physically, mentally, emotionally. It was as if a fog had lifted. Here's the science behind the surprise: your gut and brain are in constant conversation. It's called the gut-brain axis, and it becomes even more important as we age. When your gut is inflamed or stressed by daily irritants, like additives, preservatives, or even too much fiber without balance, it doesn't just cause discomfort, it can influence mood, clarity, and even resilience. Eleanor's original drink, though labeled healthy, had been overstimulating her gut daily. Now that it was gone, her body had space to recalibrate. Sometimes, the signals are subtle: a little extra fatigue, a touch of sadness you can't explain, an edge of irritability. Many women over 70 chalk this up to aging, but often it's your gut waving a little red flag. Keep a symptom journal for a week. Track not just what you eat or drink, but how you feel. 30 minutes, 2 hours, and 6 hours later. Swap prepackaged smoothies for whole, soft foods in the morning, like stewed apples, plain yogurt, or oatmeal with flax. Your gut is part of your voice. When it's calm, you feel calm. When it's agitated, everything feels a bit off-kilter. Listening to it, genuinely tuning in, is one of the kindest, most powerful forms of self-care a woman can practice. 9. Reclaiming the ritual on your terms. By the end of her experiment, Eleanor stood in her kitchen and looked at the blender with fresh eyes. She wasn't afraid of drinks. She wasn't giving up on nutrition, but she was done outsourcing her instincts to a bottle with a shiny label. So she crafted something personal. Each morning now starts with a new ritual: a tall glass of room-temperature water with a slice of lemon. Then she takes 10 minutes to sit by the window. No TV, no phone, just breath, reflection, maybe a soft instrumental song, or the sound of birds. After that, she'll choose her drink for the day. Sometimes a light banana almond shake with cinnamon, sometimes just tea. The key? It changes. Because she is changing. The takeaway tip here is not about a specific recipe. It's about design. Designing your mornings based on how you feel, not how you've always behaved. Let it be flexible. Let it evolve. Let it be a reflection of your now, not your then. Women over 70 are often told to stay consistent, as if change is something we should avoid. But change is a sign of growth, not chaos. When you create rituals on your own terms, when you listen to your body, your spirit, your needs, you reclaim a piece of yourself. That's not just empowering, that's healing. Eleanor didn't just stop drinking a smoothie. She paused. She asked questions. She gave herself permission to try something new, to feel differently, to live differently. And maybe that's the true message here. It's not about the drink. It's about the freedom to decide if it still fits. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever updated a long-held routine, something you thought you'd never change, only to realize it no longer served you? Let's open up in the comments. Your story might be the exact encouragement another woman needs today. 10. The memory glitch you didn't expect. It started small for Eleanor. A misplaced set of keys. A familiar word that just wouldn't come. Senior moment, she'd joke, brushing it off with a laugh. But over time she noticed a pattern. These lapses seemed to follow mornings when she had her old smoothie. She dove into some light reading and found something surprising. Certain common health drink ingredients, especially those labeled for focus or energy, can overstimulate the nervous system in seniors. Ginseng, yerba mate, matcha, and even large doses of B vitamins can create a sort of mental static, not necessarily harmful, but disorienting, especially for women 65 plus, whose neurological balance is more finely tuned and more easily thrown off. Eleanor realized it wasn't memory loss, it was overstimulation masked as nutrition. Her brain wasn't slowing down, it was overworked by ingredients she didn't even need. Swap Focus Booster drinks for gentle brain-loving nutrients, walnuts, flax seeds, turmeric, and hydration. A handful of mixed nuts, or warm golden milk at night, can provide clarity without overwhelm. And above all, give your brain quiet time to reset. 5 minutes of silence in the morning does more for memory than any commercial clarity blend. Your mind is your independence. When memory falters, even slightly, it can feel like a piece of your identity is slipping. But it's not you, it's often what's inside what you're consuming. Understanding that puts the power back in your hands. You are still sharp, still capable, and still beautifully you. 11. When the label says immunity, but means overload. One chilly afternoon, Eleanor picked up a bottle that proudly read Immunity Support, bright packaging, trustworthy words. She smiled and thought, this must be good for me, especially now. But that evening, her stomach churned, her skin felt a little flushed, and she tossed and turned all night. What went wrong? She flipped the bottle over and read the ingredients: mega doses of zinc, vitamin C, elderberry, and echinacea, all fine in moderation. But the drink had packed in multiple full-day servings, alongside her daily supplements and multivitamin. That's when she learned more doesn't always mean better. Especially after 65, when our body becomes more sensitive to nutrient density and less efficient at filtering excess. Overloading the immune system with strong herbal additives can actually trigger side effects like nausea, headaches, or insomnia. If you're already taking a multivitamin, check your labels before adding a fortified drink. One immune-boosting food a day, like citrus, garlic, or green tea, is often enough. And don't underestimate the power of simple routines. Hand washing, good sleep, and low stress keep immunity stronger than any label ever could. For many women, the word immunity taps into a desire to protect not just themselves, but their grandchildren, their homes, their peace. It feels like armor, but real protection isn't about piling on. It's about balance and trusting your body to do what it's always known how to do: heal, restore, and defend. 12. The hidden habit that wasn't set helping hormones. Eleanor was flipping through an old journal when she found a line she had scribbled: mood all over the place today. Maybe I'm just tired. But when she read back through a few weeks of notes, she saw the same comment again and again, always on days she had her drink. So she did some digging. Turns out, some clean energy drinks, marketed to older women, include adaptogens like maca root or ashwagandha, herbs meant to help balance stress. The trouble is, they can interfere with estrogen pathways and hormone receptors in older women. What's meant to even out stress in younger bodies might actually disrupt balance in postmenopausal women. She wasn't imagining it. Her drink was affecting her mood, her patience, even her sense of self. Instead of adaptogen-heavy beverages, she opted for mood-friendly nourishment, warm foods like oatmeal, dark chocolate, yes chocolate, and magnesium-rich snacks like pumpkin seeds. She also created a new habit: lighting a candle while journaling each morning, a small act of joy. Hormonal balance isn't just about the body, it's about stability, being able to trust your moods, to feel steady in yourself, to wake up without wondering who you're going to be today. For a woman who's lived decades navigating her emotional world, protecting that balance is sacred. Eleanor had now peeled back every layer of her healthy habit. What started as one small drink had turned into an unexpected map, leading her back to herself, not because she stopped drinking something, but because she started listening to her sleep, her energy, her focus, her gut, and yes, even her moods. Have you ever noticed that something you believed was good for you was actually throwing things off, physically or emotionally? Let's open the conversation in the comments below. You never know who your experience might help today. 13. A body that feels heard. Eleanor's final discovery wasn't found in a book or told to her by a doctor. It came one morning when she reached for her usual sweater and paused. she whispered. My joints don't ache. There hadn't been a single miracle moment, just tiny choices stacked together, choices that came from listening, not reacting, and suddenly her body felt lighter, less inflamed, more like hers. Many healthy drinks marketed to seniors include ingredients that may look good on paper, like turmeric, ginger, or MCT oil, but when combined with sugary fruit bases or artificial flavors, they can create a confusing cocktail for older bodies. What starts as an anti-inflammatory intention may actually trigger bloating, stiffness, or flare-ups in joints due to the drink's overall glycemic impact. Eleanor's joints weren't aging poorly. They were responding to quiet inflammation. Instead of trusting labels, she built a short list of ingredients she knew her body loved: warm turmeric tea, berries in moderation, avocado and soaked chia seeds, gentle, anti-inflammatory foods that brought relief without a sugar spike. When your body feels stiff or sore, it affects everything, from the way you move to the way you feel about yourself. It can quietly limit joy, but healing doesn't always require dramatic changes. Sometimes it just takes being heard. And your body, it's been speaking softly this whole time. 14. The price of confusion. Literally. One of the most relatable moments Eleanor shared came over tea with her book club. She laughed and said, "You know what really shocks me? I've spent almost $40 a week for the past 3 years on that drink. That's 6 books a month I didn't buy." Everyone chuckled, but the truth behind her words hit home. These trendy health beverages, pre-packaged, flashy, full of buzzwords, often come at a premium price, and once you're hooked on the routine, you stop questioning the value. It's part of your cart, part of your budget, part of your lifestyle. But when Eleanor tallied it up, she realized she could make the same drink at home, a better version even, for a fraction of the cost. Plus, she felt better, physically and emotionally, when her dollars reflected conscious choices. Do a little value audit. Pick just 1 week and write down everything you spend on pre-made drinks, supplements, or wellness shots. Then compare that with what it would cost to create a homemade version. The savings might surprise you. Financial confidence is freedom, and at this stage of life, freedom is everything. Reclaiming control over your spending, especially when tied to your health, isn't just about dollars, it's about value, knowing that what you're doing for your body is both wise and worthwhile. 15. A new relationship with healthy. Let's end with this. Eleanor didn't toss out the word healthy. She reclaimed it. For years, healthy had meant green drinks, labels with buzzwords, and trusting big promises from small bottles. Now, healthy means knowing herself, tuning in, trusting her own wisdom. It means slow walks when needed, dancing when possible, and foods that nourish, not perform. She didn't replace one drink with another. She replaced confusion with clarity, marketing with mindfulness. Today her mornings are slower, quieter, and full of choice. Some days she skips the drink altogether. Other days she blends her favorite homemade recipe and sips it while flipping through the newspaper. Either way, it's her decision, her rhythm, her peace. Define healthy for you, not your neighbor, not your social media feed, just you. Ask, does this make me feel strong, calm, clear? If the answer is no, it doesn't belong in your cup. Because health isn't one size fits all. It's a relationship, one that deepens with age, with wisdom, with experience. When you define healthy for yourself, you don't just find better habits, you find yourself. Have you ever redefined what healthy means to you? I'd love to hear how your idea of wellness has evolved over the years. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story could inspire another woman to take that first powerful step. So next time someone hands you a super drink, smile and say, "I upgraded to wisdom, thank you very much." You've got the tools, the truth, and the taste to feel amazing. Drop a comment, share your wins, and let's keep rewriting the rulebook, one sip at a time.